Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's number one, former podcast, now radio program, and sports recreation radio program and podcast. It's called Cheap Heat right here on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, SiriusXM channel 156. We are back. Hope you enjoyed last week's SummerSlam Spectacular. I'm your forever 24/7 champion, Peter Rosenberg. I'm being joined back in Philadelphia by the physically broken down after his car last week, at least, SGG.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be back in Philadelphia. We had some great interviews. I was buzzing. And then on the way out, my car started doing the Shake Up 2 dance, and that's not what you want out of a motor vehicle.
It started doing the shake?
It did, which I love when people mock the Jacob Shake, but I don't love
when
my car gets in on that action. So,
but it's okay now.
It's at the shop.
Oh boy.
So they figured out the issue.
Damn, your car's in worse shape. So Seth Rollins is fine, but your car not doing great.
Yeah, I would love for my car to throw down the crutches and come back home, but I don't think that's going to be.
All right, and joining us still on the East Coast. I mean, this guy's he's on the East Coast half the time we have him on the show these days. It's 38 at 35 Dipperstein. Hey, Dip.
Hey, how are you today?
Hey, how's Westchester?
Very nice, very nice. I'm here with I'm in the Tannenbaum home with 30, 40 children.
Have you seen Paul Heyman around?
I haven't. I'd love to, though. I love that man. I love that wise man.
Saw Paul Heyman a couple days ago at the radio station. He came up to ESPN New York to talk about the big SummerSlam weekend and the WWE to ESPN news, which we are going to get to here off the top here in a moment. At least everyone's broken it down ad nauseum over the last couple of days, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. I do think there's one, but anyway, shout out to Paul Heyman. He brought his son Jacob, who's a great kid.
Jacob must be very tall at this point.
Oh, dude.
Is Jacob like a legit? I remember when he was a kid. He's an adult at this point, right?
He's an adult. I told him we probably were seeing him when he was like, he's 21 now. So we were seeing when he was what, 8, 9?
Younger, I think. I was seeing him when he was younger. But
well, hold on. You what do you mean you? You didn't see him before me. You only started getting good tickets when you met me.
No.
So you weren't like spending time in their home privately in the years before that. How many years have we
known
known
each other? Right at the beginning, though, of meeting you, I would see. I had seen him.
But that's 14. That's 2014.
Yeah.
So that means he was 10. He was 10. Yeah, he was 10. And the daughter is younger, right?
Yes.
So the daughter might have been like 7.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
They were little kids.
That they're in their 20s. That's crazy.
Absolutely insane. Anyways, guys, so the news hit me out of nowhere. Dip, you're always very hip to like what's going on in the, like you had been Dip had been telling me that the NFL Network to ESPN thing was a thing for a long time. You didn't catch one whiff of the WWE ESPN thing, huh?
No.
Nothing. All weekend, didn't get a read on a thing.
No.
I don't know one person who had heard anything about this. And now PLEs will be a part of ESPN's direct-to-consumer platform. But there's a part that's being missed, I think, in this conversation. Tell me, SGG, maybe it's been covered in the Discord by this point. But a lot of people are freaking out going, WWE does it again. Now they want you to pay $29.99 a month for their PLEs. But I think there's an important piece that people may be forgetting. If you have ESPN already, if you have cable, and ESPN is in your cable package, you will be able to go sign up for the ESPN app with your cable credentials.
Yeah, that part has been completely missed. And I honestly, I blame Disney and WWE. I think they were so excited to announce that they were together and working on something that
they didn't properly express that.
Yeah, I think they expressed it in the way that you would express it to shareholders, to the consumers. And the shareholders, yeah, we care about all the different ways you're going to make money and the innovative and the dollars. And the consumers are like, wait. These dollars are coming from me.
Exactly.
They're coming from me. So this is what's coming out of.
It should have went in reverse. Yeah. In the boardroom, you want to tell them, oh, don't worry, and they might have to pay $29.99 a month, huh? But in reality, most people, like Dip, you have ESPN, correct?
Of course.
On your cable.
I have it on my cable. Well, I have Hulu.
You-
I have Hulu.
You have Hulu,
in
which
I have
includes ESPN.
I have
So-
all the I have all the ESPN channels, but I also subscribe to ESPN Plus for UFC. Mainly.
So, but you have ESPN as a channel in your Hulu.
Yes, I do.
So if you have that linear ESPN through your Hulu, through your DirecTV, through your Verizon Fios, when you go to this app, it'll say, "Do you have ESPN?" You will say yes, and then you will give the password and login for however you get that ESPN, and you will have it.
Oh,
you'll have to, I mean, listen, I'm not-
authorization.
I'm not telling you it won't be an annoying password forgetting nightmare. Of course it will be. That's everything. But
That's
part of the experience.
That's part of the
at
experience.
this point.
But you will not have to pay $29.99 a month unless you don't have ESPN in any way. If you have no ESPN, then yes, they're asking you to spend $29.99 a month.
It's so crazy. I'm looking at the dirt sheets, of course, over the last couple of days or whatever since they announced this now, and it's like, and on Instagram, and all it says is $29.99. People just do not understand the details of things. They do not look into it. They throw up these headlines, and now they're complaining that it's going to cost them more money.
Well, here's the thing.
Majority of people have ESPN.
Yes.
Am I wrong about this?
No,
Most
you're
do.
not wrong.
No, most.
And here's the thing, Dip, about these dirt sheets, right? They're also charging people for this news or whatever, and they didn't have this. They didn't have the WWE to Netflix thing. They didn't have, Endeavor purchasing WWE. They didn't have this WWE ESPN partnership. And now that the news is out, they got to get their $5 or whatever.
I know.
So they're just scraping the internet for whatever information is out there
I know.
and throwing it in an article.
I know, but I got different. Peacock costs money. Netflix costs money. Everything costs money. So,
it is what it is. And if you don't have ESPN at all, and you're not interested in sports at all, then I feel for you, because $29.99 is a lot to get a PLE. But a lot of people are into sports. A lot of people need ESPN for the other stuff, and it's really not that big a deal for most people.
Can I just say another thing?
Yeah, please.
Prior to a few years ago, pay-per-views for wrestling were $49.99. Hello. Why are we
a decade now?
Whatever. A decade ago, which we all remember, we were deciding whether we were begging our parents as kids to pay $49.99, or were we stealing it from the black box?
Exactly.
Which one were we doing? So that people are complaining.
I was doing option 2. I saw everything.
That's right.
People are complaining that some people may need to pay for pay-per-views now. Don't remember, literally just have blinders on about 10 years ago when things were $50 each. So
and they also don't remember what AEW is charging.
Yeah, right now.
AEW is charging.
Yeah, although I was in England. I was in France for All In. And I used whatchamacallit, Triller. And I think it was $29.99 on Triller.
All right.
Okay.
By the way, I like that number, for the record.
That's a good number.
Me too.
I really think 30 for AEW and WWE, and by the way, and UFC too. They're nuts. UFC is nuts. That number that they're getting from people, and that's not going to change, by the way, if they stay at ESPN. That deal hasn't been settled yet, right? UFC and ESPN.
I don't think so.
We don't know where they're going, right? Tip, you're the fanboy. You don't know?
I don't. The idea of paying $30 for a wrestling event and $80 for a UFC pay-per-view is something. That's something
it's ridiculous. It's insane. I don't understand. I really don't understand it. And by the way, I got news for you. With the wrestling pay-per-views, you're basically guaranteed satisfaction. UFC, it's a crapshoot every single time.
I'm going to go see a couple pay-per-views coming up for UFC. I can't wait. I'm counting down the minutes already.
By the way, it's the one, this is probably the quality of yours I hate the most. I don't think I hate another thing about you, but your obsession with this sport don't get me wrong. I enjoy, Dip makes me argue things I don't even want to argue because he's so extreme. Like if Dip just said, I like UFC, I'd be like, me too. But right. When he's like, it's the greatest, it pushes me, SGG, to go the other way and go, what the hell's the matter? Like, how can you go from hanging with the kind of crowd we have in wrestling to hanging out with some of the Neanderthals that go to real fighting.
In Dip's defense,
That's not how I look at it. I enjoy the
Dip's
sport
defense-
of fighting. I like combat. I'm a man of combat.
And
Okay,
you can't spell Mama Mage without MMA.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
That is very true, SGG.
That's
No,
a-
I
that's-
like it. I love the idea of the science behind the whole thing, and I think
science
the
behind the
science.
whole thing. Oh,
I love it. I love it.
That's boxing.
There's, I mean, I know there is science to UFC as well, to MMA as well, but like, I just can't remove what it feels like to be there. Like, to know that, like,
Electric and everyone is screaming and yelling, and it's as fun as can be.
yeah, but like,
Especially when they're being treated like a king.
Your one accidental bump.
That's what it is right there.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, Dip doesn't even know what it is to actually go. So he's never actually been. If
That
you
especially
actually go,
unlocked the whole thing.
yes, the especially was the whole thing. If you're being treated like a king, if you're a regular person who spent, by the way, you think WWE tickets are expensive. Good God Almighty. You spent $800 to sit in section 347. And if, God forbid, you bump into the guy in the concourse, you're going to get your brains beaten out of your head.
Oh, stop. Get out of here with this.
Wait. Am I wrong that the crowd is different? You're going to try to argue right now that the crowd at UFC is not different than wrestling? Don't try
I don't care. It means nothing to me. I don't care.
Yeah, because you're sitting in the
Insulated.
rich seats. God forbid, I wouldn't let Natalie set foot on the concourse on the 300 level.
I'm ready to go. Next time, we're going to sit on the concourse. We're going to be amongst the people. We're going to have conversations. We're going to have a great time. We're going to
Have
eat
Shoemaker write your obituary.
We're going to eat
beforehand.
these fakakta hot dogs and then the nachos, and we're going to go nuts with these.
I'm not into it. I'm not. Listen, call me when the big fight happens. Dip every month. Oh, it's another big one. Who's the big one this week?
You're out of line right now. You're out of line.
Listen, I love wrestling. Wrestling is great. Every PLE matters. You can show me a WWE PLE. Show me the AEW pay-per-views. Every card is stacked with superstars all the way through. Not jabroni, blah, 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 from blah, blah, blah. Come on. Enough.
I never saw Jabroni from blah, blah, blah fighting Alex Pereira. Okay.
Oh, he doesn't make it for the undercard fights. He just
By the way,
he's
Dip's watching at 3 p.m. when there's no one there. It's when the undercard is happening, SUG, on these UFC shows, it's basically just watching two strangers fight in the street. There's no one there.
There's bum fights.
I'm going to tell you who I heard. I'm going to tell you who I heard is on the card October 4th in at T-Mobile.
Who's that?
Fufu Shmashma.
Oh, see now.
Well, he's got to build his way back.
Sean Brady versus Fufu Shmashma.
He's building his way back.
He's in Dagestan right now training as we speak for this fight.
And by the way, Dip did it again. He made me hate on UFC more than I actually do. I'm excited for our guys fight. Khalil's fighting again in October.
Yeah.
Is that the October 4th card that Dip was talking about?
Yeah.
That Fufu's on? Yes.
Yeah, that one.
But he's on early prelims, Fufu. He's not even on the prelims.
Is Khalil Maine?
Yeah.
My guy Khalil Roundtree used to fight inside. They put him in the stupid complex, their version of the Thunderdome. They didn't let the guy get outside. Now he's outside. He's in the big shows. He's main eventing pay-per-views. My guy, that's awesome, man.
He's like, I think the third down.
Oh, so it's not the main event. It's main card.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. He had one main event on a pay-per-view, correct?
Yuri Prohaska, baby. That is the
biggest superstar. He's Hogan and Jay's.
Yuri Prohaska is a very big deal.
SGG, I heard through the grapevine you had some words about my yeeting on the post show last week.
It was a repug.
It was.
Now
I will say your dance moves was not the main event of Bad Dance Moves because it was Saturday night. And then on Sunday, AJ came out and did the Eddie Guerrero shake, and then that stole the show. That was for sure the main event.
That's really funny that you said that. Okay, two things. Number one, I know what I'm going to say right now will not be believed, okay? And if you're watching this video whenever Emilio puts it on YouTube, then hopefully he can edit this part in. Jey Uso made fun of me because instead of going up and down yeeting, I was just like, I had my hands in the yeet position, and I was just going back and forth with my hands in front of me. Now, what happened was, I thought he asked Joe Tess like he was asking Joe Tess to dance, right? I didn't think he was asking him to yeet. And when Joe Tess didn't want to dance, he said something to me. I thought he was just gauging, do you have rhythm? I've yeeted.
That's what he asked. He said, do you have rhythm? You got rhythm tests? And I think he did ask you, do you have rhythm?
Do you have rhythm? But by the way, I didn't think he meant the yeet rhythm. Who am I, Michael Cole? Of course I have the yeet rhythm. I've done it mad times. If he's paid attention, I've already been on camera yeeting many times. I've had to. It's not my favorite thing to do. I feel like a cornball, but I've done it. So when
just like your meniscus, people are talking a lot about your yeeting quality.
Well, they are now because he kept making fun of me when I was doing the little dance. I didn't think that was a yeet. I was just being like, oh yeah, sure, I got rhythm. But I didn't know. And now he thinks I've remixed the yeet into a side to side, and Jay just would not let it go. I mean, SG, he probably brought it up 5 times.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I think he closed out the interview with it. It's not.
Now, I will say this. There are going to be people out there, and SGG, you can probably fill us in because you're active on the internet. I am sure there are people out there that did not like the disappearance of the press conference.
I think it was mixed, right? I think from wrestling media, I think I saw some of them that were just like, obviously they miss it. They're not happy, but they're just like, they kind of, I don't know what the word for it is, but they notice they're feeling they're feeling not be able to be in the room and ask those questions. But I think a lot of the fans and the people that I saw online were just like, we weren't feeling the press conferences anyway.
Well, yeah, if you're sitting at home, Dip, this has to be a huge win for you. You have hated the concept of press conference since AEW introduced it, whatever that was 3 or 4 years ago.
I do. This was leaps and a formal produced show that includes Peter Rosenberg. What's better than that?
Thank you.
I'm not sure there's a better thing. But no, in all seriousness, having, Wrestle Ops or whatever, or whoever, no disrespect to the Dirts, but, having them sort of ask questions that are a little canned or a little obvious or a little too provocative or a little much for, putting the curtain back on kayfabe, whatever the case may be, this format blows that out of the water 1000%. There are segments, it's timed, it feels tight, it feels good, and you got Peter Rosenberg. I mean, what's better than that?
It's tight, it feels good.
By the way, even myself removed, from a TV, listen, I feel for the people who were able to ask questions, in those moments, right? Like, I know my guy, Adrian Hernandez, he really started to shine because of the press conferences in some way. He'd ask a good question. He'd post a question. There was upside for people, and I get that. However, my job when it comes to WWE is countdown and post show. And so I'm always thinking about what can we do to do the most entertaining show that you want to watch. When we would do those post shows and it would come to me, Tess, and E, and we'd start talking, we'd be all hyped up, or Jackie sometimes, and she fills in for Tess. We're all hyped up talking about what happens. And then it's like, hey, we're going to throw it to the press conference. It then goes to a quiet room inside where like a group of 20 people is awkwardly sort of, and let's be honest, kind of pretending to be media, okay? The Associated Press isn't there. It's wrestling fans, but who are acting muted and professional, sitting in a room. You talk about aura. No aura. Aura gone. It was aura dead. It completely killed the show. And then the wrestlers would talk, blah, blah, blah. Triple H would give statements. It just ended up sucking the air out of the room. And now, after the show, I mean, listen, the countdown is great, guys, but let's be honest. The moment in which fans really want to hear and talk about wrestling is after the big event. So the post-show SGG feeling like the countdown show makes way more sense. This is it.
Yeah. I mean, I just got to say, you guys call me crazy for my Thunderdome take, but now everybody seems to love that they Thunderdome the post-show. But
that's not a Thunderdome.
That's not Thunderdoming. It's the
Thunderdome.
Of a real crowd.
It's a real crowd. It's the opposite of a Thunderdome.
They pulled it out of the press. They're producing it more. It's more contained. You're welcome.
By the way,
you're welcome.
What McGeggery going on here?
He said it. SGG said it in text the other day. So for those of you who are new to Cheap Heat Live, you're listening to us on Sirius. SUG and Dip, as time goes on, you'll hear, do their share of fighting. Okay. And
We've been behaved this serious era.
Yeah, you have been. In the serious era, you guys have been behaving. But one of the biggest fights they ever had, and I was locked in lockstep with Dip on this, was that SUG had a period, and we're not going to get into it because he'll still defend it, in which he said he preferred the Thunderdome to live Raw on television.
Yeah.
And this weekend after the post show aired, he sent a text that was like, yeah, they went Thunderdome. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. It's the opposite of Thunderdome. Thunderdome was basically the press conference. It was inside and nothing. And now we're outside in front of a huge crowd. It's anti-Thunderdome. But I like that you managed to flip it and somehow turn it into your old argument. That's
if you think I wasn't taking credit, you
really it was impressive. So Raw this week, guys, to me, that was a better post-Mania Raw for SummerSlam than the post-Mania Raw was. SUG, am I crazy? I thought it was one of the best Raws in a long time.
No, you're not crazy. And I mean, before the break, you mentioned Hulk Hogan being laid to rest. And I think since we're talking about dead bodies, we have to start with what Becky Lynch did to Nikki Bella, because boy, oh boy, that was a murder, aired live internationally on Netflix. It's just, I've never seen anything like it.
Obviously, what you're referring to is when she got into the conversation about biggest couples in the history of WWE, and said it could have been you, but she waved her hand in front of her face and said, "But you can't see him anymore."
Yeah.
By the way, that was really well worded, because everyone knew you could probably start to feel, we're getting closer. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Mm-hmm. It was all in the wording of John Cena, how you said the John Cena thing.
She said, "Oh, you can't see him anymore."
That's all she had to say. I just need you guys to appreciate the brilliance of it. It's not just that it was referenced, it's how it was done. And now, by the way, we are so off to the races for an incredible match at Clash, which is, I'm guessing, where they will get this thing started. Yeah. They didn't announce it yet, did they?
I don't think they did, but they need to hurry up and get this going, because I'm in.
I am so in. And by the way, I mean, what a waste that Nikki Bella wasn't on the card at SummerSlam. But to know that, this is the thing though, they have so many people right now that, like, when LA Knight showed up on Raw on Monday, I remember I had the same thought. I went, LA Knight, 2 days of SummerSlam. Didn't see him once, unless it was a Slim Jim commercial. That's how stacked things are right now, that you have really big names. But in the case of Nikki, I find it a little irritating because she just came back. She's a legend, right? She's in her early 40s. We don't have forever with her. Let's get Nikki going. But can you guys believe that Nikki and Becky has never happened?
No, I cannot.
It feels like a big feud. It feels big.
That feels like two legitimate stars. And I really think Becky did the best she could do with Lyra to make it impactful and to help grow Lyra Valkyria. But now it is time for Becky to move on to something that's big for her. You know what I mean? I think this is a really good direction for them to go. They can have fun every week with this.
And it's big for the title, right? It's an Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, big.
Becky is as Mage can get in the women's division, and she's the champion. She's going to be defending against the Hall of Famer. So whichever way it goes, that title means a lot. No disrespect to Lyra. It means
it is that though, SUG.
Right now.
I don't want to diss Lyra at all, but the truth is she is a young talent who, when she won that title, the average, like, not hardcore fan was only vaguely familiar with who she was. So now to have that title go to Becky, boom. But now Becky and Nikki fighting over the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, that to me is that title arriving, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, where does Bayley go from here is the question. They had that little blow off in the hallway, her and Lyra, like, you're not my, you screwed this all up for me. Like, look what came of our alliance. Nothing. Where does Bayley go from here, man?
It's a great question.
I hope Bailey doesn't start to like fade into the background in some way, because I think she's just gotten better with her experience.
Agreed.
Yeah,
She's awesome.
And to answer your question, Dip, or to speculate, I guess, with an answer on your question,
I used to not feel that way, and now I do.
Oh, I know.
I don't think either one of them need it, but Becky and Bailey as a team, I think, could be huge, because sure, Becky's been antagonizing Bailey basically this whole way, took her out of WrestleMania, but you know, we've seen it time and time again where once the babyface is like, you know what, so and so is right, and then they join up, that could be. It's worked great for a lot of people. I mean, Scott Steiner, right? He turned on his brother and joined the NWO after NWO whooped their ass, and then that evolved him into Big Papa Pump. I could see, you know, and there's countless other examples. I could see Becky, Bailey linking up for a power team.
I don't know. That's interesting. They're going to have to keep the momentum going with Lyra in some capacity now that she's sort of solidified as like a legitimate main roster person, and is a good. And by the way, there isn't a single person who does not admit or have the take that Lyra Valkyrie is a great in-ring wrestler.
No, she's great.
Everyone likes her.
Yeah, there's no question.
The beauty of the Intercontinental Championship is that there's another title for the women to go after. So, all right, she can't go after the Intercontinental Championship. That doesn't mean her championship aspirations have to be dead. They could move her up. They could send her the feud and swim in the deep waters with Rhea and Io and Naomi and everybody at the top of the card. It feels fast, but they could.
I think she could. Although I think they've clear. I mean, I could be wrong, but Stephanie Vicaire to me seems like the clear next.
So I thought we were maybe going to get. Yeah, I wonder exactly where. So Stephanie will get the Naomi match at Clash.
Yeah,
and then that'll be interesting to see where she goes, because I don't think she'll beat Naomi.
I don't know, man. I feel like they need to, even though like putting the rocket ship on Stephanie Vicaire, I guess makes sense at some point soon. But like immediately having her wrestle for the title now at Clash is like, oh, okay. Do we know enough about her yet?
I know to have a title match.
I know. It's like for her to lose, she's not going to win.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So it's like,
what's the point? Yeah, like does it do any favors for anyone? Because like it doesn't necessarily do her a favor. I suppose, you know what you could do though? You could have a match with her where they tell a really interesting story and she battles hard and comes up just short against Naomi, and it does end up building her. And
that's the only way to do it.
And Naomi gets a good win, because like Naomi continues to need credible. She still basically has stolen a couple of wins and then won the briefcase.
Is she still working heel or not? I don't know. What is this?
Naomi?
Yeah.
She's definitively working heel. It's just that people are cheering for her.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell, in my opinion. I think she needs to lean further into the heel stuff.
I think she's leaned pretty far.
I don't think so. Not for me.
I think she has, yeah.
The only thing that was not heel was the thing with her dad from the weekend, which was awesome, but obviously having a beautiful moment with your father is inherently a babyface kind of experience. But when she's being the character, I think she's very. But I don't know. I see what you're saying, because she is funny, and she wears the caution thing is very like kid sort of friendly, and then she rides around on her little suitcase. Like there is a lot that makes it sort of funny, and I see what you're saying. That can in some ways start peeling away at the heelishness of it to some degree.
That's how I feel. I like Naomi, but I'm just saying it doesn't feel like she doesn't feel evil to me. She seems like a great guy.
She will.
Well, she is a great.
Not, but that part is true. Hulk Hogan officially laid to rest on Tuesday of this past week in Florida. I didn't see a ton, but I know that I saw Triple H was there. I saw Vince McMahon was there, who spoke briefly. Oh, Lawler was there?
Looked like it. I saw some pictures online of some people. I was trying to decipher who they were.
How big did it look?
It didn't look huge, but it seemed well attended in some context.
I saw it was Nick Hogan, of course, was at both days of SummerSlam. They didn't do much of on TV. SUG, was there like a Hogan package?
Not that I saw.
Yeah, it seems like they really It seems like they really did the Hogan stuff on the TV with the 10 bell, and they ran the package, and then by SummerSlam, not much there. But it says here in this People article that Hogan's ex-wife, Linda Hogan, was in attendance. Of course, a lot of the news has been around his daughter, Brooke, who obviously they were not in close contact. But yeah, I thought the most interesting piece was Vince McMahon, and Vince asked the crowd, I guess, to give him one last standing ovation, and seemed to be very emotional. Obviously, it must be weird.
Wait, Vince asked the crowd to give Vince McMahon one last thing? Or
by the way, that's an appropriate question, but no, I think he asked for them to give Hogan
okay,
one last standing ovation. But yeah, it is interesting because the ups and downs those two guys had, but like they are just so connected. I mean, is Vince connected to anyone in wrestling more than Hulk Hogan?
no.
He is.
And-
They are forever connected.
And I don't know if we talked about this on the show or anywhere publicly at all, but they almost were forever connected because apparently,
Oh yeah,
as Hogan was taking his final breaths, or we'll just say on the way out, right? Vince was in a bad car accident that left his car mangled, and it looks bad, like the pictures of his car. It looks like he could have passed away literally at the same time that Hogan was passing away.
yeah. That was apparently a really scary situation. That the pictures of that accident looked really bad. SUG had took a scary situation and made it hilarious though. When he told me that the article that came out, the person who was in the accident went out publicly and said, personally, I was unscathed.
Never do that.
And lawyer StatGuy Greg made both of us promise that if God forbid we were ever in some sort of accident with a billionaire, we would never come out and say publicly that we were unscathed.
Let the hospital determine how scathed you are.
There's no,
What if there's no scathing? There's no visible scathing of any kind.
No visible scathing.
No visible scathing, sure. Go get it checked out. Find out, because you might, like, have you ever cut your finger or something like that and you didn't realize you were cut, and then you saw it and then it hurt and all that? You could be scathed and not realize. So go to the hospital, get it checked out, find out the level of scathing before you update your friends on Facebook.
How long have you known me? You know I don't do manual labor. I've never had to cut up my fingers.
How would he cut?
That's why he wouldn't know that it's there, because it just sneaks up on him.
I mean, how would he possibly cut his finger? It's basically impossible.
He grips the coffee creamer too tight when he's unscrewing the lid.
That's the situation.
Let me tell you something. Ripping off of that foil of the coffee creamer, there absolutely has been some times when I was nervous that I was going to either strain a muscle or cut my finger.
Well, I'm telling you this right now.
Your tolerance is not built up because you don't do the main. So that's exactly how you would tear through some skin.
As someone who's as washed as I am right now, let me tell you, Dip, God forbid, unfortunately, you are going to have a washed injury like that because you haven't worked out in literally your adult life practically. So you're going to be doing something at some point. And like someone called my show this week when we were talking about moments like this happening. Someone called the show and said that when opening a pickle jar, they twisted too hard and blew out their back.
What?
I'm reaching for the remote, and I'm for 2 days, forget it. In bed, I'm reaching for the remote. The number one best one I've ever heard, though, and the caller insisted. This wasn't this time. This was another time we had this conversation. We bring this up regularly, being washed and having injuries.
Yeah.
You're living washed right now. You're all about washed. Well, something's up with washed.
Well, because the reason
something's his experience.
It was the experience of this week. Was like there's nothing more washed than trying to hop upstairs and injuring yourself. But apparently there is, because someone called our show once and said that they bought a pack of Bubblicious.
No.
And chewing the Bubblicious dislocated their jaw.
No.
Yes. And promise, they were not joking. They were dead serious. They legitimately injured their jaw on Bubblicious. That's like saying I stepped on an ant and broke my toe. Right. It's
yeah.
People are doing, once you get, 35 is about the line. So SUG, you got to be careful, bro. You're into your late 30s. You're putting a lot of physical weight on those knees. You could You could have a meniscus situation in a
I
heartbeat.
woke up with shoulder pain the other day because I rolled on it, slept on it, and then now
the shoulders hurt from sleeping.
Yeah.
What's worse than a sleeping injury? That's
It's
bad.
nothing worse.
Welcome to my life. I mean, you're
Every moment.
Every morning there's something new. I'm not saying it lasts forever or it's that painful, but every single morning when I get out of bed, there's something different about my anatomy. Up my shoulder, I have a little thing over here. There's always something going on.
Congratulations to Charlotte and Alexa, not only for winning the championships, but I really feel like they stumbled into something very cool. Like them getting thrown in a tag team is the definition of generic. We don't know what to do with someone. Let's just throw them together, come up with some hybrid name, and hope it works out. And in this case, the Charlotte Alexa thing, guys, really benefited them both to me, like immediately. It was one of those rare cases where 1 + 1 = 3. They became bigger in the moment and feel more like, to me right now. Now, if they go too long with it, it could not work, whatever. But right now, SGG, how do you feel? I feel like Alexa and Charlotte were both elevated by joining each other.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I didn't have it in the cards for them to be champs, but I am actually enjoying this championship run. Although I do have to say, not even the championship run, but just them as a team and how they're developing this friendship. But I do have to say, though, with them actually getting the titles now, again, I can't help but think about that whiteboard at Unreal that they showed with the potential WrestleMania matches. And one of them was Charlotte and Becky Lynch against Io and Asuka for the women's tag championship. So I wonder how much did they have to remix whatever that storyline was going to be to get us here, or was it just like
by the way, here's the thing: if we're ever going to get Charlotte and Becky together, I think I'd like to see them go to war against each other first. Like, they need to have their knockdown, drag out, Rocky Apollo fight before they team up like Rocky Apollo afterwards. It has to be, we need closure to the endless story. And as everybody who pays attention knows, and hopefully Unreal will dive into this at some point. I'm sure they will.
They got to get a season 2
because the whole show's a work. They
absolutely.
will get into the Charlotte Becky real life. Everyone knows they have issues in real life. That needs to culminate with a big story and match, and then they need to come together as a tag team. To me, and by the way, then go on like an epic run as a tag team, like a year, where they're really, to me, that would be really special. And have people accepted that yet? I mean, I heard our colleagues. I heard Dave LaGreca get on the air first, and I don't know, maybe Dave has switched his tune. But there were a lot of people screaming bloody murder about Unreal. And I'd like to say two things about it. Number one, I love it. Number two, it's a work, bro.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
What did they give up? What did we get? What did we learn? What was truly exposed about the business in Unreal? What, that they have a writer's room, that they talk about who should win something? You think they really showed us the intense conversations from the writer's room?
No. And I'll even say this too, right? With specifically the Cena heel turn thing, right? They mentioned, the plan was maybe originally Kevin Owens accepting The Rock's offer and, walking out with the championship and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to call BS on that, right? Because they said, we didn't know until shortly before Chamber what John was going to do with the heel turn. His promo after the Rumble, months before the actual heel turn, was the first step in him being heelish. The hustle, loyalty, respect went right out the window. He said, I'm in the chamber. Y'all do what you want. Figure it out who the other 5 people are going to be. But I'm taking one of these spots. I'm going to win. And I'm going to go on to the main event of WrestleMania. And that's the first flash we get of heel John Cena. So the idea that Kevin Owens might have been the one to take it and John Cena wasn't gonna do I'm not buying it because they had already abandoned the Mr. Hustle loyalty respect. But for the show and for the story, yeah, it's great when they say, oh, I had this epiphany and then this came together and then we had to put it together really fast because that's what we do, this high stakes, high speed environment. And I think there is some of that in play. But like you said, it's all still a work. And they build in the lore.
To me, SGG, the thing is this. If you show me Gunther playing video games and rolling around with his kid.
I don't like that. I don't want to see that.
Exactly. But they didn't show that.
Right.
They showed Gunther. They showed CM Punk go to Gunther and be like, hey, what did you guys think about Blood? And Gunther's like, it looked good. That they didn't give us anything. They didn't show anybody acting like Charlotte gives you the real Charlotte all the time. That's who she is. Every interview she does, she lets everything go. So they didn't take anyone who's never been exposed and expose them.
And even John Cena, when they asked him a question, I think about like the heel turn or something like that, he was just like, he tries to give a compelling answer. And he asked, I think the director, or whoever, he's like, is that good enough for you? And the director's like, well, that's the answer that we got. But he starts that answer off by saying, I'm not going to go there because people don't need to know this.
I heard in the second season that there's going to be a whole episode on the Viking Raiders living in their natural habitat.
Is that true?
Which we've never seen before. We're going to go.
I heard that too.
We're going to go into the cave. We're going to see them eat giant chicken bones. And
your dream.
And are Vikings cave dwellers?
Yes. Yes, they are, and they're conquerors of other, villages.
In the caves, though.
Huh?
The villages in the caves.
Yes, in the caves. So that's going to be. I'm not excited to see them in their natural habitat and go behind the scenes of the Viking Raiders, but apparently that's what we're going to get. At least one episode of that.
I'm here to predict. I do not think we will get the Viking Raiders. Although I will tell you, actually, they would be a great episode of Unreal.
Because they're great guys.
Well, not only that, because they really do the Viking thing in real life. Like they go do the cosplay Viking stuff on the weekend. Like that actually would make a really funny episode. If you see that in real life, these guys kind of live it all the time. Like that is a great hybrid version of it. So I know the show's coming back. There's no question, obviously.
It was renewed already.
It's official?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not letting the cat out of the bag that I definitely saw them. They're all over the place. It's going down.
I think some eagle-eyed viewers spotted the director of Unreal in like some WWE footage that they posted after the cash-in.
They recognized the director of Unreal.
Yeah.
That's where we're at here with this.
It's intense.
Hey, the curtain's back. People are peeking behind the curtain. They said
the funniest thing though is just seeing people get so crazy about it, and the people who generally got the most crazy about it are the people who for a living talk about exposing the business. So like I mean, for every moment when you have a Cornette type or whoever the old school cats are, I don't know if Cornette liked the show or not, but whoever, these are always the people who get the most high and mighty about old school stuff are always people who are weekly exposing. Let me tell you stories about back in the day. I just love that P.S. Hayes was like such a baby face in the show. Like it was, to me, it was just a neat, he means so much to these people. Like P.S. Hayes is just very loved backstage by everyone. He is such a adored sort of, he's become such an adored sort of character backstage. And I loved that moment where you could tell he was being legitimately congratulated for the masterpiece that was the triple threat at WrestleMania, which he produced, the men's triple threat, that is. By the way, Dip, if you haven't watched, because you were out of the room when we did the interview with Rhea Ripley last week, the interview is now up on YouTube and SGG with the big question to Rhea. It hasn't gotten picked up yet. I'm hoping the blogs will all see it, where he asked her, was she happy or disappointed when the Mania match became a triple threat with Io? Because it looked like it was going to be Bianca Rhea one-on-one. And yeah, she gave a really compelling answer. So if you guys are out there listening, you haven't heard it yet, you can go find the podcast, of course, wherever you find podcasts. And you can always go watch the video on YouTube. Our interview with Rhea is up right now. and the interview with Jacob Fatu. We love you guys. Stay mage. Join us in the Discord. Send your emails, of course, as well to rosenbergwrestling@gmail.com. And then SGG, enjoy yourself.
Take it easy, fellas.